Welcome back to another unsolicited and uneducated football analysis with your friend David Valentin. This time it's going to be a quick review of the season finale of Ted Lasso that just happened on Apple Plus. My opinion of the show, very entertaining. It was an opportunity for people to be introduced to the game of football or soccer, um, and also for people to see British people and American people beyond the stereotypes. Um, I'm, I love the game of football. I'm passionate about it. I follow a team in Israel, I follow a team in England, I follow a team in the States. So everything that I like about the sport was sort of highlighted. Also, a little bit behind peeking behind the curtain, if you will. One of the things that I have said on my podcast and with people in conversation many times is that be inside that jersey, there's a human being. So we get to see that on the show. We get to see how um, outside forces affect what happens on the pitch and the different dynamics of people that come from different cultures, speak different languages, and now have to play in one team. And also the demands of the fans not seeing what's happening, what's going on. With that said, the thing that I liked the most was this dynamic about father-son relationship is something that we don't see all the time. Because unfortunately, in my opinion, masculinity is under attack all the time. So when I was a little kid, you couldn't cry, you couldn't show emotion, you couldn't show any love, any vulnerability. It's a hard word for me. Vulnerability. I can't believe. I'm probably gonna have to restart this video. Any vulnerable. Okay, let's just leave it like that. Side of you, uh, it basically was a sign of weakness, and I have learned to hide that. If I was dating somebody, if that girl saw uh, sentimental side of me, saw me crying or whatever, I knew that relationship was gonna end because, you know, she has to be with a strong man. A lot of men have to be pushed to show this sign of strength at all times. And when I was in the military, there was no excuses. Just do your best, and your best must be excellent. Otherwise, you shouldn't be doing it at all. And here we see how we can see bad relationships between parents. For example, Jimmy Tart and his dad. Bad relationships among the players themselves. Good relationships like Sam and his father. Sadly, Ted's suicide, his father's suicide, how affected him, a young man, and how he wanted to be in his son's life. So there's a lot of dynamics there, and we get to see that men can talk to one another, support one another, be vulnerable with one another, and not necessarily lose their manhood, their strength, and their ability to problem solve. One of the things that I remember from the military that I really treasure was the fact that we were all young kids away from home, away from mom and dad, and we always found a way to work with each other. Even if at the end of the day our differences were such that we couldn't be friends, but at least we could be civil. We could be teammates to accomplish something, and I really enjoy that part of the service. And when I play sports, I really like the camaraderie and the spirit of the corps that created, and something that when my kids play soccer, play football, they learn themselves, and they know what it is to be the team that everybody mops the floor with, and work really hard in order to be back-to-back champions. And that's something that they can take to different aspects of their life over and over. So when I go back to the show, I really liked that part of everything. You don't have to be a football fan in order to enjoy the show, in my opinion, because is one of the show. It takes a formula that is tried and true, and is the workplace drama, right? We have seen this over and over. How people how we have sitcoms where they develop in a workplace, and this case happens to be a football stadium. The one thing that I really didn't like, that we did not see a proper resolution, perhaps because there's plans for spin-offs or other things like that, is the fact that we see how Michelle divorces Ted at his most vulnerable part. It seems like she divorces him out of selfishness, out of not valid reasons, and the man that she goes for, which is so unethical that this doctor decides to date a former patient. To me, it just did never sat well with me, and to see him being the complete opposite of Ted, and somebody that she seems to be getting tired of, already tells me that this is somebody that probably made a rash decision, quite possibly influenced by this doctor, and now she probably is regretting it. I don't want Ted to get back with her, because then it destroys everything that Ted has learned in England. Ted needs to be his own man. He needs to stand up and show that strength that he learned there to move forward, and to find happiness with somebody that is gonna take him face value. That doesn't want to change Ted. That just wants to love Ted for who he is. And obviously, the relationship with his son is highly important, because while he could have had stayed in England and won the EPL, as the series leads us to believe, the fact of the matter is that what was important was to make sure that his son grew up to be a better version of Ted. And that is something that I have tried myself. I have two sons, and if you watch my videos in my channel, you probably have seen them. And I think I'm doing a great job at making sure that they don't make the same mistakes that I made. Also, that they have different life, different options, different opportunities. And I sort of try to not get emotional, but I try to do that. And my father himself has told me, hey, listen, I gave you everything that I could possibly do. I'm glad that my grandsons are doing better. And in my respects, I want my grandchildren to be better. I want my sons to be better fathers than what I was, because I tried to avoid some of the damaging things in my childhood from affecting them as well. That's it. Great show. Hopefully, we get to continue the story in some new way. If not, I think 3 seasons of what was honestly a gimmick birth, born in a funny commercial. I remember when those original commercials with Ted Lasso came out. I think it was at NBC or one of these networks that were bringing on the EPL. And the gimmick was Ted Lasso was an American football coach trying to coach an EPL team. So it's amazing how much juice they got out of this one thing. Again, there was a lot of things that I felt that at the end of the show, we didn't get like a satisfactory a resolution, but that's part of life. We sort of I really like to think, if this is the end, that we can in our heads like make conclusions of everything for all the characters. They're all right to the sunset. They are all happy. Ted is back home. I always fantasize with the idea of Ted taking over an MLS team. He's from Kansas City. Sporting Kansas City is there. I think that would have been awesome if we get to see Ted coming to MLS, and like, I don't know, doing so well that he gets picked to run the national team or something. I don't know, something like that. I think it will be super cool. But with that said, I think it was a great opportunity to showcase the beautiful game. As a football fan, I thought it was fantastic, and I had a lot of fun following the adventure of this Canson in London. So I hope you think the same of the series as me. If you don't, then that's great too. If you don't have a MLS team to follow, I suggest mine, Orlando City, and I will podcast on the Capo Stand live Mondays here on YouTube. So if you will be kind and join us live, you can be on the show with us. You can comment live. Myself and my friend John, we do a good job at it, and maybe if you're new to the sport and you don't know anything, you can learn a thing or two with us. So with that said, may God bless you, and thank you very much for watching. And to the producers of Ted Lasso, thank you very much for such a great product. I think I'm not the only one that thinks that it was a fantastic show. Thank you very much.